I want to ask this question. When are the Democrats going to stop playing Charlie Brown to Lucy's football? I mean, you know, Chuck Schumer came out with this really good plan. I mean, really the Biden administration put it together, but they did it collaboratively with the head guy in the Senate and with Nancy Pelosi in the House, of course, to put, you know, over $2 trillion into American infrastructure over the next decade, which, when you think about it, is not that much money. That's, what, $200 billion a year for 10 years? Not a lot of money. And to put another $2 trillion roughly into our soft infrastructure, into our schools and our young people and daycare and things like that. Again, not that much money over a 10-year period. The Republicans came back and said, oh, my God, we can't do that. It's too much money. You can't. And the Democrats said, OK, give us your alternative. So the Republicans first came back and said, well, how about $600 billion over 10 years? And we'll make most of it, like, you know, money that we're going to take out of unspent funds from the money that you just allocated for the COVID relief. That was a $2 trillion bill. We're going to take $600 billion out of that hasn't yet been spent. Money that hasn't yet been given to the states or to the people or whatever, you know, that's planned over the next year. We're going to take that money and use that for infrastructure. So you don't have to raise taxes on any of the billionaires who fund our corporations. Won't that be nice? And the Democrats said, no, not going to do that. We're not going to take $2.2 trillion down to $600 billion. But tell you what, the Democrats said, we'll cut it down to $1.7 trillion. You know, we'll do away with a bunch of, we'll get rid of child care. We'll get rid of, you know, there's a bunch of stuff we can get rid of. If that will make you Republicans happy. And the Republicans are like, well, you know, we'd like to think about that, but maybe. We have some proposals. We need to evaluate it. It's going to take some time, some weeks, some months. In the meantime, we're going to get closer to primary elections and the Senate summer vacation and other things that might cause this to never happen. And the Democrats are like, cool. And it's like, what's it going to take? This has been going on for 20 years. This happened to Bill Clinton, for God's sake. This has been going on for 30 years, where the Democrats put forward a proposal. The Republicans say, well, you know, we like the idea. We're all in favor of the goal that you're talking about, but we have a different way to get there. Just give us a little time and we'll work something out. And the Democrats go, okay, fine. You just hold that football and, you know, we'll come kicking it again. And then a few months pass and the Democrats, you know, the Republicans say, oh, here you go. Here's another unacceptable piece of crap proposal. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it's not going to pass. It wasn't done in good faith. They did this to Bill Clinton. They did this to Barack Obama for 8 friggin' years. And they've been doing it to Joe Biden for 5-6 months now. Well, I guess 5 months. At what point do the Democrats say, you know, screw you guys, to the Republicans? At what point do the Democrats say, you know, we're going to go it alone? Now, I get it. There is a strategy here. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, where Biden has to make it look like he has done everything he can to include the Republicans, so that when something gets passed without Republicans, the one thing that the Republicans won't be able to say is, we were excluded from the process. Now, number one, nobody cares whether they were part of the process or not. What they care, people are going to look at the outcome of the legislation. I mean, yeah, in Washington, D.C., and some policy wonks and people like me, but, you know, the 99% of Americans don't care, number one. And number two, you've got to get this stuff through. You've got to get this stuff passed. I mean, if they can pass this jobs bill through reconciliation by simply appending it to the earlier COVID relief bill, which appears to be what the Senate parliamentarians said you guys can do, they don't need any Republican votes. This is not subject to filibuster. They just need to get about doing it. Now, Biden has come out now and said, we're going to do it in July. That's what, 6 weeks from now? More or less? We're going to do it in July. We'll see. A lot can happen between now and July. And with things like the January 6th Commission, for example, you know. Oh, yeah, well, January 6th Commission. Now, you have to understand how the Republicans are looking at this. You will recall back in 2013, I think it was, Kevin McCarthy going on Fox News and saying, we just put together a special commission on Benghazi and a special investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails. And when we are done with, I'm paraphrasing here, but you can easily find the quotes. And when we are done with this investigation, she is not going to be a viable candidate for president in 2016. We're going to destroy her. And it's exactly what they did. You had 10 different separate investigations of Benghazi and the emails. It cost probably well over $100 million. In many cases, the Republicans had meetings during these investigations where they literally locked Democrats out of the room. Remember that? We're talking just 6 years ago. And now the Democrats are like, well, we need to let the Republicans in the room. We need to collaborate with them. We need to cooperate with them. We need to work with them. I get it. You're trying to get something that you can sell in Wyoming. Wyoming is lost. Forget about Wyoming. Just get the damn bill passed. You get that damn bill passed, and when they start building bridges in Wyoming that have Joe Biden's name on them instead of Donald Trump's, or instead of Liz Cheney, who has voted against everything the Democrats have been pushing. When they start building those bridges in Wyoming, when they start bringing broadband to rural people, and if they do a good job, those people realize, like with the RTA, the Rural Telephony Administration back in the 30s, the federal government brought this to me. Not some big corporation and not the Republicans, but it was the Democrats in charge. Or the Rural Electrification Administration. I think that preceded the RTA. That was the one under FDR, the REA in the 30s. We're going to bring electricity out to rural areas. They did it. In my opinion, Democrats just need to get going. They need to get this legislation passed. Now, it may be that what's going on right now, and love to hear your thoughts on this. It may be that the game that Biden is playing right now is let's first try to blow up the filibuster so we don't even have to worry about reconciliation of these things. And let's put something really important forward that the Republicans can filibuster so we can get enough outrage that we can blow it up. And they thought that would be the George Floyd Policing Act, Justice and Policing Act. That was supposed to be signed yesterday in the White House with the family. It wasn't.